Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today it's crazy. I was just looking at the episode 5 of this little series that I'm doing about flipping houses, because I get asked the questions all the time over the years of me sharing our flip houses, flipping to rent, flipping to sell. We've done both. I get a lot of questions. And so I thought one way that I could do this to kind of hit all the questions is to kind of do a little series on the podcast, break up the topics into bite-sized chunks so it's not overwhelming. And I've been telling you in every one of the episodes inside this series, if you want me to dive deeper into one of these topics, or you have more questions as I am diving into each of these topics, please reach out to me. DM me on Instagram at My Creative Days. You can also email me as well, lindsay@mycreativedays.com. And just let me know what those things are, because that's going to help me to make sure that I'm putting out the content that you're looking for, what you need help with, what you have questions with, and this is for all of you that have reached out to me that have thought about flipping, really want to do it, but you're just kind of hesitant and you're just wondering all of kind of the ins and outs. This was the best way for me to do it, to kind of broadly kind of get all these questions together. And then I thought, well, we can go from there. Once we get some feedback from this little series on the podcast, maybe I can dive in deeper from there. Who knows? But anyway, please do not be shy. Please reach out to me. I am so happy to help. Every flip we've done, we just finished our last one. We are learning so much. And so I wish I had somebody. My dad helped us a lot, but these past few, he has not been able to help us at all. And so we are doing a lot of things a lot differently than my dad ever did or ever taught us. And so I wish I had somebody to kind of hold my hand while we did this, and we just haven't. And so if I can be that person for you, I would love to do that. I will never give you, financial advice, tax advice, anything like that. That is not my wheelhouse. I am not a professional in that. That is one thing that I need to make sure. You need to reach out to your accountant, your people for those kinds of things. I'm just here to help you. With the experience we've had and what we've learned, that's what I am here to do. So those specific things, because number one, I'm not a professional in any of those topics. And number two, it's going to look different for everybody because everybody's situation is going to look different. So today we are on episode 5, and this is what to DIY and what to hire out. Just because you can do it all doesn't mean you should. And so I think one of the biggest mistakes new flippers make is that they try to take on every project themselves. Then you burn out, you blow the timeline, and you may lose money in the process if you don't really know what you're doing. And that just happened. I think I shared this in the last podcast. That just happened in our last flip. We've been doing this how many times? I think this is our 9th. I really have to sit down and count them because I can't remember, but it happened with the whole garage door on this last one, and Matt thought he could DIY it, and it ended up, no, he shouldn't have done that, and we had to end up paying for it anyway, so we should have just called them. But anyway, so why this topic matters, because every flip is going to have 2 major resources that are always limited. They're always limited. It's your time and your money, right? So it's time and budget. How to balance those two decides whether your flip becomes profitable, manageable, or stressful and a never-ending nightmare. And I don't want that to be like that for you. So I do get asked a lot, what do you decide to do yourself and what do you hire out? And I think that's important, right? So first, how do I decide what to DIY and what to hire out? If something requires a license or has safety risks, I always hire it out. So those are things like electrical, plumbing, HVAC, gas lines, structural changes, things like that, roof work. unless it's something small, right? That you can patch on the roof or something like that, right? Those kinds of things I'm going to always hire out. They're specialties for a reason, if that makes sense. And I want to make sure it's done right. But not only can we get hurt, I just don't want anything like that to be done wrong, because in the long run, if it's done wrong, it could cost you thousands later. Look into getting some quotes for that stuff immediately, because those are kind of your bigger things that it may take more time, right? To get people there to do it. So make sure you're doing that right away. Ask yourself, how long will this take me to do? How long will it take a pro to do? And what does that time cost me? So this was actually something that in this last project we just got done, we redid the whole kitchen. We worked with a company to do the kitchen, but we had to have our plumber come in and like do the sink and, the dishwasher, the faucet, and those kinds of things, right? They were the cabinets, the countertops. And so Matt has hooked up a dishwasher before. Matt has set a sink before, and he has put a faucet in before. Matt doesn't love plumbing. And it's so funny because that is the one thing my dad hated too. Like, my dad loved electrical work. My grandpa, my mom's dad, was actually an electrician. So he learned a lot from him. But plumbing was just something my dad hated. And it's something that Matt doesn't like. And so when we were talking about, we were kind of on a time crunch. And I'm like, let's just have a plumber come in and just do all the things, right? Put in the dishwasher, set it up, because we did have to get all new plumbing for the dishwasher. So that was something Matt couldn't do, if that makes sense. It wasn't just like, taking out an old dishwasher and putting a new one in. This house never had a dishwasher. So there was actually plumbing, if that makes sense, work that had to go into it. So we were going to have him come in and do the dishwasher. And I said, Matt, let's just have him set the sink and do the faucet. And Matt kind of went back and forth. And he was so grateful in the end that we just had the plumber do that. Yes, it cost us a little bit of money, but the time it saved us was priceless, right? Because it would have taken Matt a lot longer. And those are kind of some simple things, but it's just stuff Matt does not like to do at all. And so if you can just take that off the table, it's just so much better. And it went so much quicker. So it saved us a lot of time. And when you're flipping, your time is money, because when you're hanging on to the house, no matter if you're renting or gonna rent or sell, every day you hang on to it, it's costing you, right? Insurance, taxes, utilities, those things, right? So time is money. Quality, another thing, quality versus finish work. So some things are technically DIY-able, but if you don't have years of practice, you're going to see they were DIY'd, if you know what I mean. And I shouldn't say that, because we DIY, people can DIY a lot of things and it'll look amazing. But there are certain things that if you haven't had a ton of practice, you should probably hire out. So think of things like tile work, maybe it's trim, carpentry, drywall, mudding, taping. Maybe it's installing kitchen cabinets, high-end finishes, anything requiring like a laser straight line or perfect level, those kinds of things. Usually hire those things out. That was actually something that in our... we just got 3. So the first one we got, the house, we really wanted to finish. I shouldn't say finish off the basement because it was finished, but we wanted the walls we needed them to be drywalled. And so in that project, we knew that was going to be the biggest ticket item in our budget because we knew we were going to hire it out. And they did unbelievable work. Like, we were so impressed. We will definitely be using them again when we have to do that. And you can tell that they've been doing it for years and it just looked seamless. So definitely, those kinds of things you want to hire out. When does it make sense, financial sense, to hire someone? I think a lot of people think, I got to DIY it all because it's going to be cheapest. Well, that's not always true, right? Sometimes hiring out can be more profitable. So when a DIY slows down the project, again, holding costs are adding up every day, right? So if a DIY delays let's say you're selling by 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, that can easily be thousands of dollars, depending, right, on the project and all of the numbers and all of that. A contractor can bulk price depending on how much stuff you're having them do, right? So they can get, cheaper materials, faster delivery, industry discounts. They can bulk price it that way so they can get it cheaper materials. Again, depending on how much you're having them do. But then, if you have them doing 3, 4, 5 things, kind of giving you a bulk price for all the things, do you know what I mean? Instead of just one project. So if poor tile work makes a bathroom look like a DIY project, buyers are going to notice that and they will offer you less, right? Because they're thinking, okay, that looks horrible. I'm going to have to come in and I'm going to have to hire somebody to come in and do it right, right? Those things are going to cost you money in the end. So when DIY causes redo costs, it's not good. So sometimes beginners will have to do a project twice. That's double the materials and double the time. I'm telling you, that's a money suck right there. Like, do not do it. Hiring someone once that knows what they're doing, can get the job done, is so much cheaper than you doing it wrong and then having to redo it again. I'm taking a quick break from the episode to share some exciting news with you. If you have ever wanted to flip furniture for extra cash, a creative outlet, or to build a business but didn't know where to start, there's never been a better time. My Furniture Flipping Academy is now just $79, which is over $200 off the original price. Inside, you'll learn how to find amazing pieces on a budget or for free, how to transform them step by step, sanding, painting, staging, all the things, how to price and sell for real profit, and even know how to work with brands to grow your flipping business in more ways than you know. And that's just the start. There is so much more waiting for you inside the Academy. We have so much packed inside the Academy. It's completely self-paced. Once you buy it, it's yours for life. There are no deadlines. There's no pressure. We do have a sneak peek inside the link in the show notes. It will give you a glimpse inside the Academy. And here's the truth. Nothing changes unless you do. You can keep waiting for the right time, or you can take this step now. At $79, the price isn't holding you back anymore. So stop hesitating. Stop making excuses. Click the link and get started today. In this one, I thought I would also share tips for finding reliable contractors because we're talking about DIYing or hiring it out. Start with referrals from other investors if you have that in your back pocket. If you know other flippers or other people that have done this, those people are going to be able to tell you who shows up, who overcharges, who disappears, who takes forever to do the simplest projects, right? This is going to be your best source. If you do not know any other investors, flippers, or whatever in your area, the next people that we like to talk to, homeowners, or, people like your friends and family that have people coming in and working on their house. Think of somebody that you know that recently got a kitchen done, a new HVAC, got windows done, something like that. Reach out to those people. And if all else fails, you send out a mass text or put out a Facebook post to all your friends and family that says, hey, we're looking for a plumber, somebody to do concrete, and an electrician. And, we want somebody that's reliable, on time, blah, blah, blah. Like, we need somebody really good. And you will get a bunch of recommendations from people that you actually know and trust. So that is hands down how we find the best people. And then actually, we ended up working with somebody that knew my brother-in-law. And so through this person that came and did one job, we found 4 or 5 other people that did different jobs that were all from this small town that these guys are from. And it was funny because we didn't know one of them. And so we had them coming out to give us a quote for something. And one of the other guys that did something totally different was working inside, walked out the back door and was like, hey, so-and-so, what are you doing here? And it was like, it's just, we still laugh about it because all the people that we have gotten to do different things, and every project's going to have somebody different, right? You're going to need somebody different for something different. And so just talk to the people that are coming to work in your house. So maybe in one house, you have the drywall people come in, that's great. And we have actually done this. So the drywall people come in, do their job, you get done with that flip house, and now you're closing on your next one, and you need a really good electrician. So we will reach out, like our drywall person will contract out like the electrical or the plumbing. Like they'll do general contracting stuff. They can do doors, they can do floors, they can do painting, they can do drywall. But when it came to like plumbing and electrical, they would contract that out. They kind of had somebody under their wing, but not really. Like they didn't work for them, but they had somebody they'd contract that stuff out. So those contractors know people. And so just talking to those people that are working in your house too, that's another great way to like get connections. Get multiple quotes. Get at least 2 to 3 bids for, especially for your bigger work, right? You will be shocked by how the numbers, how different they can be. Ask the right questions, okay? How soon can you start? That's a huge one. You are on a time crunch, so you need to know if they can accommodate that. How long will the job take? What materials do you supply versus what do I have to get? Can I see photos of past work? Can I reach out to, do you have, a lot of people have reviews. A lot of them have reviews. Hey, can I look at the reviews from past people? Ask those things. Do you have any current projects that I can look at? Those answers will tell you everything. If they're a little shady about, oh, I don't really give that out, or ooh, like that, there's a lot of red flag. You know what? I should actually do a podcast about red flags. Red flags run when you're talking to contractors and people coming into work. Okay, this is a huge one, and this is a huge one that my dad taught us from day one. Pay in stages, not up front, or pay at the end. Like, pay when the job's done. So never, never, never pay the full amount before the work starts. Please do not ever do this. If you've got really good people, like our drywall guys, they were like, this is the quote, this is how much it's going to be. And we did not have to give them anything up front. They went and got all the supplies, they did the work, and we paid them at the end. Now, if you are working with some custom things, like maybe it's custom windows, right? You may have to put a little bit of money down so they can get those like all ordered, which I kind of get there because they're like, listen, we're custom ordering all these windows. And if don't have a little bit of skin in the game, you know what I mean? Like they could be out a lot of money. So I understand that, but definitely you're not going to pay all of it up front. So it may be like a small deposit. It may be payment in milestones. So, we're going to get all the drywall up, and then can you, pay a fourth of it? I don't know. We've never done it this way, but I know people do it. Okay. Then when we get it taped and mudded, and then if they're painting, like maybe that's what it's going to look like. But you do not give the final payment until it's all complete. You've inspected it. You're happy, all the things. Never pay the full amount up front before the work starts. Please don't ever do that. Do not do that. And lastly, treat your good contractors well, right? They want clear communication, decisions made quickly, jobs ready when they arrive. So if you have to, like for, let's just say the windows that we just got at the last one, there were some areas that we needed to remove some tile in the shower. And then we also needed to sand and paint 2 windowsills that were in the basement. Like, have that all done and complete. So when they come there, it's ready to go. Prompt payment and just respect, right? Because you want these guys in your back pocket. And when Lindsay calls them, they're like, yes, we're going to go do this job. Like, she's amazing to work with. There's no him-hawing around. She's going to know exactly what she wants. It's going to be a vacant house usually, right? It's usually a house we're flipping. Like I can, come and go. I'm not having to work around people that live there. Like, yes, we are going to go and work for her, and we're going to make time for that. You really want, it's kind of a give and a take, right? Like you really want to be amazing to them so that they say yes every time you call them and need something. So this is where, flip houses can go sideways fast. When you're managing multiple trades for like a project. So like when we got the whole new kitchen, I was managing the cabinet people, the countertop people, the plumber. I needed to make sure that the flooring was done before like all that went in. And then we had some DIY inside there, but we had to wait for different stages to get done, right? So a good way for you to not lose your head on this is to create a project order of operations, right? So A has to happen before B, C, D, and F, right? So demo, structural, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, because they're getting into the walls and things, right? Drywall, paint, floors, cabinets, finish work, cleaning, staging, right? That's kind of just a rough kind of list. Stick to this so you just avoid chaos. Communicate clearly and early. Send each contractor, like if you have multiple, send each contractor the start date, when they need to complete, or kind of the time crunch you're on. Hey, I know you're coming to do the floors Tuesday. I just wanted to let you know, because the cabinets are coming to, or the cabinet people are coming to put the cabinets on your said floors on Saturday or whatever it is, right? Just communicate with everybody so they know they have to be done by Saturday. And then it's the same with the cabinet guys. Hey, I'm having the floors redone on whatever I said, Tuesday. I know you're coming on Saturday. We do need a dry day there between, when the flooring's done. So, that'll be done Friday. Whatever it is, whatever the communication is, you need to communicate clearly what they need to complete, what they need from you. What do you need from me to make this okay? Do I just need to go in and lock the doors and that's good? Do I need to come and pick out a finish, a paint color, a whatever, depending on what you're having them do? Just communicate well. That's super important. In all of this, it's super important. But avoid stacking trades on the same day. So too many people equals chaos, and too many people that don't really, it's not like you have you are the general contractor, but it's not like you have somebody there that says, okay, our plumbing team is coming today with our electrical team and they know what they're doing. It's usually it's people that don't know each other. When everybody is bumping into each other, quality is going to suffer. Okay. So try and stagger the trades whenever possible. We did run into this last time, and the one guys, they were coming in to put in flooring in the entry and stuff. And who was it? I cannot remember who the other person was that was just coming in for a little bit. And the guy was like, oh no, that's totally fine. We'll be able to work around them. Don't worry about it. So it worked out, but definitely stagger them if possible. And you can keep a weekly schedule board as well. So just a whiteboard on the wall with who's coming, what they're doing, start and end dates. Everyone who walks in sees it, and everyone stays aligned. I would also add here that it is a good idea for you to be coming. Obviously, when somebody comes, right, you meet them there, right? So whoever it is, flooring, electrical, plumbing. And hopefully you get to the point where we do have a couple guys where we can be like, hey, we're going to open the door at noon. You said you were coming at 1. Just make sure you lock up when you leave. And they're just that amazing. We totally and fully trust them. But we have some other people that we don't. We just don't know them that well. And maybe we have, they do good work, but yet they're really messy, or they leave a huge mess. So there are certain times when it's like, I will be there when they get there, right? And I'll kind of mess around or clean up some things or whatever. And then I may leave for a half an hour. Hey, I'm going to run out and run some errands. I'll be back in a half an hour. And I'm in and out. And one of the main things, let me just say this, it's just the cleanliness that some of them do. It's like you have dirty hands, you know what you're working with, and then you put your hands like all over the walls in just the most odd areas when you're laying floors in the entry. Like, and it's like, so then go through and clean the walls. Or another huge one, please, for all of you male contractors who lift the toilet lid, just make sure you're aiming. Just aim into the toilet, okay? Because I don't want to have to clean those bathrooms every time you leave the house. So it's just kind of some things like that. So sorry, it's a little fresh. That's just it's a little too early. I don't know what it was about a couple of the people that we had. It was just like, what happened here? I was not gone that long. So anyway, you do not need to DIY everything. You don't have to be an expert, a DIY expert to flip houses successfully. And you don't have to have $1 million budget, right? So you don't have to DIY everything, and you don't have to hire everything out. You need to find the balance, okay? You need to figure out where that is. Find the balance where your skills save money, your contractors save time, your project stays on schedule, and you stay sane in the process. That last one's huge. But I'm gonna be completely honest. even if you have all your ducks in a row, and we're going through every step here in this little series on the podcast, there will be times and there will be days when you think, what am I doing? Why did I buy this house? Is this ever gonna end? I am not making any headway, and that's okay too. That's normal. Flipping is a team sport. When you understand what to DIY and what to delegate, everything becomes easier, faster, and more profitable. So if you have any questions about this episode or any episode in this series or any of the podcasts, please, like I said, reach out to me and let me know. And then also, I just want to mention if you are a podcast listener, to make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. We will leave a link in the show notes for that. It's youtube.com/@mycreativedays. If you're just listening to this, and just head over there now. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. We do upload the podcast every Monday to the YouTube channel, and we will continue doing that. There may be some changes coming up, and I just want to make sure that if you listen to the podcast specifically, that you are subscribed to YouTube, because we will be continuing to upload the episodes there for sure. And I also upload videos not even once a week, many times a week over there on YouTube as well. So I'm sharing DIY projects, our flip houses, all of that's in video form, taking you kind of behind the scenes of things. So that's also on YouTube. So if you just click the link in the show notes, hit subscribe, and then if you also click the bell, you will be notified when anything new over there is launched. So until next time, I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.